Okay, so after much frustration in the market, day trading is super hard. So what I'm trying to do is give out less alerts, but more higher signal alerts. And if you guys watch my other videos, and I'll discuss it all in this video, but I think this is going to be one of the most safest day trades you could possibly do, and I'm going to do it based on two orbs. So and I'll explain that in this video. So basically, what I mean on an orb, I'm going to go to a 15-minute chart. And basically, the first candle is your 945 candle, right? And so what you would do is on a 15-minute chart on the first candle, you draw your horizontal lines, right? Very easy to do. So the very top of this candle is here, and then the next top is or bottom is there. So that is your 945 candle on, and this is using Webull. You can do it on TradingView, where, however you like. And so basically, if price goes above it, I would look for calls, and if price goes below this, I would look for puts. So what I mean by improvising this system, what I'm looking for is to get rid of the fake outs. Usually if you get a double orb, so if it goes up, that's calls, right? But this is a fake out, and we're seeing this many times, right? So what happens is it goes up, and then it just plummets down. And so what I'm looking for is for that double orb to present. And so let's say we're on this SPY here, right? So we have this 945, we're above the EMA. So it looks very bullish. If you're above EMA 20, you're bullish. So price right here presents the orb to the upside, right? This is a body of a candle closing above this 945. Now, it can't just be a wick. It wouldn't be this candle here at 1030 because that's just a wick. We want to see a body, true strength, where it goes up above this 945. So we get this orb here, and then it comes crashing down to this EMA 20, right? So right on this candle here, we would take our entry. Yes, you probably would have made some money because right in here it goes up depending on how you would do it. But I don't like how this was a weak signal where it just comes crashing down. So it hits here, comes down a little to scare you out, then goes up. And if you didn't take this profit, you would have lost on it. Depending on your zero DTEs options, what I recommend is do at least 3 DTE. Anything less is just too strenuous, too extreme, and you can get a stop loss fast. Because what I like to do is anything over a 10% stop loss is what I have to do. You know, if I'm doing an option and I'm doing a 0 DTE, my stop loss gets hit too fast. So I do 3 DTE, and my premium is $150 to $2 range. So right in here, you know, you probably would have made 10%, but I'll show you an example where just I'm going to show you QQQ after this. But as you can see, we have this, we come tumbling down, and then guess what happens here? We start to, you know, switch sides of the orb on this candle here at 115. But what I'm saying is, and if you're looking at my EMAs, what I'm saying is, why not just wait till we get that double orb? Because a lot of the times is you're going to get the first orb, and there could be a false out, and it sucks if it does, but most of the time it's not. But you can get a much higher quality signal if you do the double orb, where it fakes it out, right, like right in here, and then it comes back up. Now you might ask, well, what is this thing, this line here? This is your EMA 50. I'm using it a lot for other swing trades, but you can see here to a T. Sometimes this is going to be your longer thing, and I'm going to add this to here. If we get to here and we come back up, I'm going to start taking the shorts on this EMA 50. And then you can see here, once we get that final orb, then you can take it on the 20, right? So there's lots of things here. The EMA 50 is a very strong EMA. It's something that it's not going to hit often, but if it does, and if it's the top, then you need to look to buy put. So there's 2 ways to play this, right? And I'm going to show you QQQ, what happened, and it was just disgusting today. And that's why I want to re-improvise it, because it happened to IWM, and then it happened on QQQ. As you can see for QQQ, look what happened today. We get the orb here, and it's much more volatile than SPY, because remember, if SPY is lagging, let's say QQQ is hitting EMA 10, but SPY is hitting EMA 5 on the daily, well, QQQ can puncture the EMA 20 much more, and that's why this is a more volatile candle than SPY. So you can see here, it's kind of confusing with all these lines here. Let's make it white maybe. But basically the same pattern here. We're going to look for price to break the orb, and guess what happens? It comes back to the 20, and it comes, and you just get wrecked. Even the 50 you got wrecked, which sucks, right? And that's why we want to play the opposite side of the double orb. So if we miss on the first time, we go on the second time. And that's why I'm saying, even if it hits the 50, don't take it. So on the second time, we look to take our trades. So guess what? We break this side of the orb on QQQ. Here's your 945. This candle right here is breaking the other side of the orb. We had a false signal here. This is our second orb. And guess what happens? To a T, price goes down the right direction. And that happens a lot. But I've been backtesting it a lot. Yes, you're going to get less signals. But, who cares, right? Because it sucks to lose. When you lose, it just sucks. So I'd rather get less signals. And guess what happens to QQQ? It goes up to the 20, and it comes tumbling down. We got the orb here for downtrend. It goes down some more. It comes back up to the 20, and it goes down. What you could do is you can scale in here, buy some more on the 50, have your stop loss just above here. It's just a beautiful play, and I'm seeing it a lot, and it's irritating because I want to give out a lot of alerts in the Discord, but it's just not that simple, right? A lot of the times, you can have a double orb back to back, and I'll show you what happened yesterday. We played IWM in the chat, right? Absolutely insane what I'm seeing here. The market is being very, very tricky right now. We had this 945 orb, literally to a T. We hit this candle here at 10:15. Literally to a T. We get an upper orb. Not only do we hit the 20, we go way past it. Just like what I showed you on QQ. We hit the 50 and go way past it. I mean, look at this massive move from 241 all the way to 237 in a blink of an eye. There was no news or nothing to cause that drop like that. And it just randomly did it. Guess what happens, though? Double orb wins the day. So if you played it on the first orb at 945 and you did calls on the EMA 20, you would have lost. But if you played it on the EMA 20 for puts onto the downside, you would have won massive money. And that's what I'm trying to get at. And that's what I'm going to just do. And I'm making this video because it's irritating me because I want more signals, but it's just too risky right now. We need to be hands off, less risk. And honestly, if I don't get a whole signal in a week, I don't even care. If I can get one play a day is all I really would like. If it doesn't double orb, we come back up to hit this 20, and guess what? Perfect signal. And you're going to see it time and time and time again, right? Yeah, I just wanted to make this video, and let's go past more days. Like I did SPY on this day. We can look past other days here and kind of see what happened to SPY here. And you can see normal price action. Usually you are only going to get one orb here. So we draw our lines here. And to a T here, we hit the orb here to the downside. Guess what? We come all the way back down to this ATR4, come back up to the EMA 20. It tries to scare us out. But that's why I'm adding this EMA 50 here to be like, you know what? That should be another add-on zone. The EMA 20 and 50 should be an add-on zone. And yes, if it goes above here, then yes, you get stopped out. But yeah, you can see one orb works beautiful. And the strat does work many, many, many times. You can see right in here, 945, right in here. If you just do the single orb, it comes up. It says uptrend. It comes back to this EMA 20, and it bounces. It comes back to the EMA 50, and it bounces. And because all of this is signaling an uptrend. But you might see right here, we even though we got a bounce, we start to see a bottom opposite orb here. But if the EMAs, like this candle right here, is saying, yes, we're below this, we should only short. But the EMAs are still at the bottom. You use these EMAs for entries. So if this EMA 50 and 20 are at the bottom, you really can't short that, right? It's just not meant to short. But that's why I want to see the EMA 50 and the 20. If I'm going to short it, I need the EMA 50 at the top. So that's why I'm getting at. If you want the safest alerts, you're going to have to do the double orb, in my opinion. We'll do one more day of SPY here, 945, and we do, and maybe we can do a gold analogy because we're going to trade SPY, QQQ, IWM, and gold. Those are only the 4 indexes I'm going to trade in the day trade section. So we have 945 here. This don't count because that's a wick, so that doesn't confirm it. This confirms. Look at this. Look at this. This confirms at 10:30 that it's a downtrend. Guess what happens? We blow right the heck past the 20. But this is interesting, too, to see that the EMA 50 is not at the top. And that's why I'm starting to add this EMA 50. That probably can avoid a lot of false signals, maybe. But guess what happens? We blow past it, and look at this nice, beautiful signal. Right here, we get double orb on 12:15. We come all the way down to this EMA. I mean, this was a really tough day right here. But if you held this a little longer, would you have held this a little longer? Probably not. Who knows? This would have stopped you out. Maybe you hit the 20, add on the 50. Your average would have been right here. This one was a bit a little dicey. This one you might have had a true loss. And that's okay because you're going to have so many wins doing the double orb. And you can see, I'm not sure what happened. Maybe that was news. Who knows? That was a big freaking candle there. But yeah, and that's the downside. And I've also noticed, taking trades past 12 is a little more riskier. But with this strategy, doing double orb, you'll probably have to. Nothing is perfect in trading. For example, everything is probabilities, right? And using this, you got to understand when a double orb, if you do decide to take the first orb, make sure you take the second orb to make your loss back. If you want the safest trades, take the double orb. And make sure if you're shorting it, the EMA 50 is on the top with the 20. If you're buying it, the EMA 50 is at the bottom with the 20. So like right here, for example, we have a 945 candle. Right here is your shorting opportunity. That tells us a downtrend on 10:15. To a T, we hit the EMA 50 and we go up. And that's going to happen a lot. You can use this EMA 50 a lot for that. But, sometimes it can go way under it. So you just got to be careful. So we might have literally just got another double orb. And this is why I'm making this video, because of how crazy the market's been. Chop mess to a T. So we get this. You would not short this because the EMA 5 and 10 are the most above, right? EMA 5 and 10. You want the EMA 20 and 50 to be at the top. So this is a false signal. And that's how you can kind of relate, be like, how do you know if it's a false signal? One, your EMA 50 and 20 are at the bottom and you're getting an orb to say shorted. So don't take that one. Here is your true orb here. This is your second. This is uptrend right here because your candle goes above 945. Your EMA 20 is at the very bottom with the 50. So you would say, okay, bounces at those areas makes sense. So we hit this 20. Give it some wiggle room. Don't act like price is going to hit the 20 and just go right your way. Give it some wiggle room. Have it. That's why I say have a 3 DTE, even have a weekly DTE. Whatever makes you happier. Have a little stronger DTE. Don't go so out of the money. That way your 10% don't get stop loss right here. This should not stop you out. So then you have this big massive move. You would make your easy 10% and move on. Do you want to keep playing it? It is more riskier the more times you hit the EMA. So it's just because it hit the EMA once or EMA 20, and then it hits again doesn't mean you just keep playing it, right? Because EMAs are like support resistance. The more you hit it, the more riskier it gets. So we hit this, we get your win. We hit this, you get your loss if you play the 20, and it's just too hard to play this because you average down here, and you would have definitely lost if you played it again. So that's why I said the more you play it, the riskier it gets. So do keep that in mind. So this day alone, if you played the double orb, you would have won. Yeah, let's just do one more. These are addicting. So 945 here, you had this. You just so you guys are seeing so many examples here. You'll see your orb crosses right here at 10:30. This is a downtrend. Your EMAs are at the very top with the 20 and the 50. You take your entry at the 20. You take your entry at the 50. These two are combined, and you get this massive candle on 11:45. Textbook example. You make freaking bank on this trade. And remember, when I said if you take it just because it hits the 20 and it does it again, it doesn't mean it's another good entry. Like you said right here, it touches the 20 and then it touches the 50 and then you would lose. You would give back this winning trade and then you will lose on this trade. So you'll easily make your 10% here, no doubt. This will probably give you a 50, 100% winner. But then you would lose it right here because you try to be greedy and take it again. And that was your first orb, by the way. This was not a double orb. And you can kind of see on this 945, you try to break about it, you start to get a double orb here at 1500. You play it to the upside right here. You take the play at the 20 and the 50, and it goes right up your way at the end of the day. So it just depends on how you like to play it. This would probably be a futures type play because if you're doing options, it's too late in the bell. Maybe with higher expiration, it wouldn't matter. But yes, you would have made massive money there. And you had this massive gap up, and you would have made more and more. But I'm making this video because I want you guys to be aware of the double orb. It can happen. Just because you lose on the first orb, do not give up. If you wanted to play the first orb, that's totally fine. It works a lot. But you want to make sure, how do you get rid of false signals? Like, if you're doing a first orb, today, this was just a brutal day, right? If you're doing a first orb, and let's say it says to buy, like for this on SPY, it says to buy, right? Well, we could say like, yeah, the EMA 50 is not at the very bottom. So this probably is a false signal. Your EMA 20 is at the bottom. So there, your EMA 50 should be below the 20. So that's why I added it for added protection. And so you'd be like, yeah, something's not right about that. And so this was probably a false alert just by seeing that analogy there. And so then it comes back down, and then it comes to hit the 50, and then it comes back down. And this was your double orb right here at 13.15, hits the 20, and you make bank. So you could have played it here, or you could have played it, let's say you wanted to play at the 50, that's fine, but that wasn't your true orb. I would have played it right here and then added more at the 50. So I added that layer of protection to kind of help false signals, because it's getting kind of annoying seeing the first orb lose when it's been working a lot. It works a lot. It's a very consistent thing, because usually what happens is it hits the first orb, and that's your trend for the day. Obviously, if it's choppy, it will do double orbs, and that's what really wrecks traders. Like right in here, you get your down signal, and guess what? To a T, hits the 20 and down. That's a first orb. It's been downtrend all throughout the day. And yes, you could take the 10 and make money here, take the 10, make money there, and that's why I had the 10 and the 5. They're just, to me, they're just more riskier, because if you hit the 10 and then you go to the 20 and then you go to the 50, it's just too much, right? I rather do one ad on the 20, and I'm learning to take, if we get past the 50, it's a no-go. So maybe I do another ad on the 50, right? So if you have $1,000, do 500 on the 20, do 500 on the 20, 50. If you want to put a total 2,000, do 1,000 and 1,000, and that might be the better option, is have the $2,000 option account. That way you can have $1,000 on the start and another 1,000. So that's my analysis. This is how I'm doing the day trading strategy. I want to make sure I'm going to add the EMA 50. If it says downtrend on the first orb, and that EMA 50 is not at the very top and it's at the bottom, then I'm not going to take the downtrend. I'm going to think it's a false orb. The double orb is your safest play. I showed you plenty of examples where the double orb made you 100%. There's one that was a little dicey. They made you many times some money. You can also look at, if the more times you hit the EMA 20, do not keep playing it, because I showed you an example where, if you played it, you would have won, and then the next time it hit it, you would have lost. So that's how I'm looking at it. I had to readjust things. The other thing I'm going to do is the 5-minute and 1-minute ATR. This one is really hard to alert, but basically for today, on SPY, you can see if 5-minute touches my upper band or lower band, and these settings are all in the Discord. Make sure you watch the Swing Trading Education to get it. But if you hit this lower band with a 1-minute, as you can see on SPY, we hit the 1-minute. When the 5-minute hit it, which was right here, you would take calls. That is trading against the trend, and I would do it on a 5-minute and a 1-minute, only if the 1-minute has TD away from the EMA 20. I'm only looking at the TD on 1-minute, not the 5-minute. So if we have a touch of the EMA 20 at 3 o'clock, and we haven't touched it in longer than 15 minutes, then I would look for the 1-minute and the 5-minute. This one is going to be mostly alerted in the trading view 1-minute section here. You can see like, SPY has a 1-minute ATR D Pierce. So you could see that and be like, yeah, on the 1-minute, we had a deep pierce right here. So you would take that trade for calls. Same process, 10% stop loss. So those are the two strategies I'm doing. I hope this cleared up a lot of confusion. It's a longer video. I'm trying to figure out like what the heck is going on in this, choppy market. It's just like it goes up, it wants to do an uptrend, and then it goes back down. It's like insane. And I lost twice in a row doing the first orb, and I've been back testing. I'm like, man, this thing has been working like insane for me. And then this last couple of days, it's been really hard. So now I got to adjust to what the market is doing. Why is it so choppy? How do you trade a choppy market? If it's choppy, it's going to do double orb on us. And if it does a double orb, the double orb is going to have the best confirmation than a first orb. A first orb, you usually have a fake out, right? You can have fake outs. They happen. People think it's going uptrend, and then it plummets on you, or it goes downtrend and then it goes up. So the second orb is always going to be the best if it happens. Do you cancel out the first orb? I don't think so. I think using this EMA 50 will tell you, like, hey, if we're in an uptrend, but the EMA 50 is at the very top and it's not at the very bottom, then maybe it's not really a true uptrend. And so I'm going to use that. You can probably get rid of the 5 and the 10 because you're probably not going to use them unless you want to. But for me personally, I'm just going to use the 20 and the 50. So yes, I could get rid of the 5 and the 10 to make this look a little more cleaner, you go to style and just uncheck these two, and you'd be like, okay, yeah, it looks a lot more nicer on where you would take your entries. So hope you guys like this video. If you're in the Discord, I just want to say thank you for sticking it out. Trading is hard. Day trading is much harder. Most day traders lose. I think if you have patience, with a defined system, with risk tolerance, like, hey, I'm only taking 10% stop loss, no matter what, I am not going to let that go above 10%. And I can do a video, I can do some live trading on how you can automatically put your orders in on a bracket order where it does 10%, and you won't go above or below that, and you are at your risk tolerance where you can take a profit at 10 and stop loss at 10. If you guys need help, just let me know. I'll show that in the live streams if you need that. But if you want to join the Discord, I'll put the link in the YouTube comments below and in the description. It'll say join the premium Discord. If you want to join this service, just hit day trade alerts. When you join, it'll ask you to subscribe, and it's only $12 a month. If you do subscribe, use your computer to avoid the iOS fee. But that's about it for this analysis here on my improved day trading strategy. It's been frustrating. I know a lot of people have lost money in the market. I've been reading all over Twitter, like, why is this choppiness? It's just wrecking me. And this is kind of what my analysis is. I love EMAs. I think EMAs are the most crucial part. They give you entries that you're not guessing. It's a defined system. The EMAs are really awesome. You're using an orb that tells you what side of the trend is. If a 15-minute closes above your first 15 minutes, it is a very popular strategy. They call it the orb, and that determines the trend. But you can have fake outs. That is totally fine. Fake outs are going to happen, so that's why we do, if you want the safest results, do the double orb, and just make sure, when you're taking trades, look at your EMAs. Is the EMA 10? Not, is something's off? Are they too close in line? They need to be spread out for a stronger trend and all that. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a like, subscribe, comment. I'll post this into the day trade education down here. I'll erase some of these and just probably put this one in here because I think this is the only way I'm going to do it, and it's improvised and it's the best way to do it. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the Discord.